The fish on your plate can protect your brain or slowly fill your body with mercury. And after 60, that difference can shape your memory, your heart, and your strength more than you think. If you want to stay healthy and independent as you age, hit that subscribe button right now. We share simple, science-backed health tips like this every single day. Over the years, one pattern keeps showing up in older adults who stay sharper and stronger. They do not just eat more fish. They eat the right fish. That is the whole game. Today, I'm going to show you 4 fish seniors should avoid, 4 they should eat more often, and the one simple rule that makes this easy to follow. Now, before we continue, tell me your age and where you're watching from in the comments. This helps us understand who we're helping. Here's what most people get wrong. They hear that fish is healthy, so they assume all fish are healthy. But that is like saying every car on the road is safe. Some are built for the trip, some are headed for trouble. Fish can be amazing for you after 60. They give you protein for muscle, healthy fats for your brain, and nutrients that support your heart. But some fish also carry more mercury. Mercury is a toxic metal. Over time, too much can stress the brain and nerves, and bigger fish usually carry more of it because they eat smaller fish all day long. It builds up like dust in an old attic. A 2024 study from the University at Albany found that fish intake in adults over 60 was linked with better scores on all 3 cognitive tests they measured. In simple words, the right fish was tied to better thinking and memory. But that does not mean every fish belongs on your plate. And here's the part that should get your attention. A 2018 study led by a Tufts University researcher found that older adults with higher blood levels of seafood-based omega-3 fats had an 18% lower risk of unhealthy aging. Not 2%, not 5%, 18%. So yes, fish can help you age better, but only if you stop treating swordfish and salmon like they are the same food. They are not. Let's get into it. Number 5, swordfish and shark. Most people think big fish means better fish. Bigger fillet, more protein, more value. But actually, bigger often means riskier. Swordfish and shark sit high on the food chain. That means they collect more mercury over time, the same way a snowball picks up more snow the farther it rolls. The FDA and Harvard both warn that these large predator fish are among the highest mercury choices. So if you are over 60 and you care about brain health, balance, and steady energy, these are not fish to make part of your routine. Why take the risk when you have safer options? Look, if you had swordfish once on vacation, do not panic. This is not about one meal. This is about habits. Regular habits shape aging, and regular high mercury fish is a bad bet. So what do you do instead? If you see swordfish on a menu, swap it for salmon. If a seafood counter has shark steaks, keep walking. Your goal is simple. Choose a 3-ounce cooked piece of low-mercury fish instead. That is about the size of a deck of cards. 2 of those servings each week is a strong starting point for most adults. And let me be clear about one more thing. Protein alone is not the reason fish helps you. You can get protein from chicken, eggs, yogurt, or beans. The magic in the best fish is not just protein. It is the mix of protein plus omega-3 fats. Swordfish and shark may look impressive, but they are the wrong kind of impressive. Here's an easy restaurant trick. If the menu pushes big grilled fish steaks, ask for salmon, trout, or sardines if they have them. Fancy is not always healthy. Sometimes the healthiest choice is the least glamorous one. But wait until you see number 4, because this next pair fools people all the time. Number 4, king mackerel and tilefish. This is where things get tricky. Most people hear the word mackerel and think that's one of the healthy oily fish. Sometimes that is true, but king mackerel is not the same as Atlantic mackerel, and that small difference on the label can change everything. King mackerel is on the FDA's avoid list because of high mercury. Atlantic mackerel is a different story. So if the package or menu just says mackerel, ask which kind, do not guess. After 60, guessing is not a health plan. Tilefish is another one many seniors have never even thought about. It sounds harmless. But it is also one of the fish listed as highest in mercury. This is why simple label reading matters so much. A beautiful seafood dinner can still be the wrong dinner. Think of mercury like rust in old pipes. You may not see it, you may not taste it, but you still do not want it moving through the system week after week. Your brain, nerves, and blood vessels already have enough work to do as you age. Do not add more stress. So here's the practical move. If you usually buy whatever is on sale, pause and read the exact name. If it says king mackerel, put it back. If it says tilefish, skip it. If you want a better swap, choose salmon, trout, sardines or herring instead. Those give you the upside without the same mercury burden. And if you love canned fish, this rule gets even easier. A can of sardines or salmon is usually safer than trying to decode a fancy seafood special at a restaurant. Simple wins. You do not need to overcomplicate this. Quick question. Have you noticed more brain fog, low energy, or slower thinking lately? Comment yes or no below. Now let's move to the fish you should be eating more often. Number 3, salmon and trout. Most people think healthy fish has to be expensive, fresh, and cooked perfectly. But actually, salmon and trout are some of the easiest wins in senior nutrition. They are rich in omega-3 fats, and omega-3s are healthy fats that help support the heart, brain, and blood vessels. According to NIH food data, a 3-ounce cooked serving of Atlantic salmon gives you about 1.8 grams of EPA and DHA, the two main marine omega-3 fats. A 3-ounce serving of rainbow trout gives you about 0.8 grams. That is a serious amount from a simple meal. Why does that matter to you? Because these fats help lower triglycerides, which are fats in the blood, and they may help lower blood pressure and calm inflammation. Inflammation is when the body stays in a constant irritated state. Think of it like a smoke alarm that never fully turns off. Over time, that wears the body down. A 2021 study from McMaster University found that in people already at high risk for heart problems, eating at least 2 servings of fish each week was linked with about a 1/6 lower risk of major heart events like heart attack and stroke. That is not a small thing after 60, and there is more. A 2021 study led by the University of Bordeaux found that older adults who ate more fish had fewer signs of vascular brain disease. That means less damage to the small blood vessels in the brain. In that study, 31% of people who ate no fish had severe markers of this brain vessel damage, compared with 18% of those who ate fish 4 or more times a week. Ask yourself this: if one simple food can support both your heart and your brain, why would you ignore it? Here is how to use salmon and trout the easy way. Buy plain fillets, fresh or frozen. Aim for a piece that is 3 to 4 ounces cooked. Brush it with 1 teaspoon of olive oil. Add lemon, black pepper, and a little garlic powder. Bake it at 400 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes until it flakes with a fork. That is it. No heavy sauce, no breading, no deep frying. If you use canned salmon, choose one packed in water when possible. A half can to 1 can can cover lunch. Mix it with plain yogurt or a little olive oil mayo, then add celery and lemon. Put it on whole grain toast or over a salad. Easy, cheap, fast. Trout works the same way. Pan cook it with a little olive oil for 3 to 4 minutes per side. Add cooked vegetables and a small baked potato. That is a senior-friendly dinner that does not spike effort or cost. One warning here. Fried fish is not the same as baked fish. Once you bread it, salt it heavily, and drop it in oil, you change the whole picture. Not healing food, but stress food. Before we go further, if this is making sense so far, hit that like button. It tells me you want more videos like this. Number 2, sardines and herring. Now we get to the fish most people overlook. Sardines and herring are not glamorous. They are not the fish you brag about at dinner. But after 60, they may be 2 of the smartest fish you can eat. Why? Because they are smaller fish. Smaller fish usually collect less mercury, but they are still loaded with omega-3 fats. That makes them like a small toolbox packed with the exact tools your body needs. According to NIH data, a 3-ounce serving of sardines gives you about 1.2 grams of EPA and DHA. A 3-ounce serving of herring gives you about 1.7 grams. That puts them right up there with salmon. And because they are small, they bring less of the mercury problem that comes with bigger predator fish. A 2023 study from the University of Oslo found that older adults with a higher fish intake had 31% lower odds of pre-frailty 8 years later. Pre-frailty means the early stage before full frailty, when energy, strength, and resilience begin to slip. Even more striking, people who kept a high fish intake over 21 years had 41% lower odds of pre-frailty. That matters because frailty does not show up overnight. It sneaks in. So how do you actually eat sardines and herring if you did not grow up with them? Keep it simple. For sardines, start with 1 small can, usually around 3.75 ounces. Choose sardines packed in water or olive oil, and look for lower sodium versions if you watch your blood pressure. Put them on whole grain toast with sliced tomato and a squeeze of lemon, or mash them with avocado and spread them on crackers. For herring, be careful with the kind you buy. Pickled herring can be very salty, Smoked fish can be very salty too. Salt matters after 60, especially if you have high blood pressure, swelling, kidney problems, or heart failure. So when possible, choose plain herring or lower sodium canned versions. A 3-ounce serving with boiled potatoes and cucumbers makes an easy meal. Here's the thing. Many seniors spend money on supplements while ignoring foods that do the same job better. Sardines and herring give you protein, omega-3s, and staying power. They are often cheaper than salmon too. Why pay more for less? And do not make the mistake of saying, I'll just take fish oil instead. Not so fast. Food first is usually the better move. Food gives you the full package. Supplements only give you part of the story. I'd love to hear your story. What made you click on this video today? Share in the comments. Number 1. The simple fish rule that changes everything. Most people think the healthiest fish is the fanciest fish. But actually, the safest and smartest rule after 60 is this. Choose smaller, oil-rich fish more often and skip large predator fish. That means you avoid swordfish, shark, king mackerel, and tilefish. And you eat more salmon, trout, sardines, and herring. That is the whole map, not random, not trendy, just smart. A 2024 study from Oregon Health and Science University adds an important twist here. Researchers found that fish oil supplements did not show a clear benefit for all older adults in general. That is a big reminder. Do not use supplements as an excuse to ignore your actual plate. Build the plate first. So what should your week look like? Think in twos. 2 fish meals a week is a great target. One dinner could be a 3-ounce baked salmon fillet. Another could be a can of sardines on toast for lunch. Or 1 trout dinner and 1 herring lunch. You do not need a perfect plan, you need a repeatable one. If you shop on a budget, frozen salmon and frozen trout are often great buys. Canned sardines are one of the best bargains in the store. Canned salmon works too. And if fresh fish feels like too much work, start with canned. Healthy does not have to look fancy to work. If you cook for one, portion the fish before you freeze it. Wrap single servings. That way you are not thawing a big package and wasting half of it. If you live with a spouse, cook 2 small fillets and keep dinner simple. Fish, vegetables, and 1 smart carb like potatoes, brown rice, or beans. Done. And let me give you one more powerful trick. Keep your fish routine boring in the best way. Same shopping list, same pan, same seasonings, lemon, olive oil, pepper, garlic. When healthy food gets easier, it gets repeatable. When it gets repeatable, it starts changing your body. Let's pump the brakes for a second. I'm not saying this to scare you, but there are a few situations where you need to be careful. If you have a seafood allergy, none of this applies until your doctor clears it. If you have gout, sardines and herring may trigger symptoms in some people because they are higher in purines, natural compounds that can raise uric acid. If you have kidney disease, heart failure, or high blood pressure, watch salty fish very closely. Pickled fish, smoked fish, and heavily salted canned fish can push sodium too high. And if you take blood thinners, do not assume fish oil pills are harmless. Harvard has pointed out that omega-3 supplements have shown mixed results, and some research has suggested a slight increase in atrial fibrillation, which is an uneven heart rhythm in some people taking supplements. Food and pills are not the same thing. Fish on your plate is one thing, high-dose capsules every day are another. Also, if swallowing is hard for you, be careful with fish that may contain bones. And if you notice nausea, rash, swelling, wheezing, chest pain, new heart fluttering, or sudden confusion after changing your diet or adding supplements, talk to a doctor right away. If you have unexplained weight loss, severe weakness, or memory decline, do not try to fix all of that with salmon alone. Get checked. So you're convinced but thinking, how do I actually do this? Start with the easiest version. Buy 1 pack of salmon or trout and 1 can of sardines this week. That is enough. Put the salmon in the oven once. Eat the sardines once. See how you feel. If you hate sardines, try canned salmon next time. If fresh fish is too costly, use frozen. If cooking is hard, buy pre-portioned frozen fillets that go straight from freezer to oven. If sodium is a concern, choose low-sodium canned fish and rinse it lightly. If your appetite is small, split a serving in half and eat fish more often in smaller amounts. If money is tight, make sardines your budget hero and use salmon once a week instead of 3 times. You do not need a perfect diet. You need a doable routine. Look, there's a lot of noise out there. One person says eat more fish. Another says avoid fish. The truth is simpler than that. Avoid the big high mercury fish. Eat more of the smaller oil-rich ones. That is the move. You do not need to overthink this. Start with just 2 fish meals a week. Make one of them salmon or trout. Make the other sardines or herring if you can tolerate them. Skip swordfish, shark, king mackerel, and tilefish. Your body will tell you if it is working. Better energy, better fullness, better routine, maybe even better labs over time. If this helped you, hit that like button. And if you want more videos like this, make sure you're subscribed because we post new health tips every single day. Stay healthy, stay strong.